know you've heard about the massive famine in Gaza and millions of people dying of starvation. Well, there's a new report out that says, get this, Gazans have 150% of their daily needs for nutrition and water just not being distributed. And guess why? We're going to explain. There's actually an organization, Claire, called the Famine Review Committee. It's 5 prominent scholars on food security and nutrition, and they've just come out with their report analyzing the famine in Gaza. And their written report is out. Anyone can look it up. Look up Famine Review Committee. They've concluded that the famine that is now projected and imminent in northern Gaza isn't really there. There is way more than enough food and supplies coming in, at least to the borders, on a daily basis. The problem is there's not enough people to unload it. There's no one available to protect the Palestinian people on the street from Hamas, who's selling them the free food and supplies. And there are countless videos, and I urge our audience to go look this up on YouTube, where Hamas gunmen will grab a Palestinian who's trying to run away with the free food, lining them up against a wall and executing them in the streets because it wasn't paid for. Meaning these thugs, they're criminals of the worst kind, the Hamas terrorists, are taking the free food and selling it to their neighbors for fantastic amounts of money. If that wasn't happening, there's more than enough food, more than enough water, more than enough medicine, according to this new report.
Yeah, absolutely, Barry. And I think we've talked about this before, but combining the large, humongous freshwater aquifer that underlies Gaza, together with the very mild Mediterranean climate, the people in Gaza are able to grow just about anything in terms of produce. And if you actually do go look up some of those videos, there are scenes of marketplaces overflowing with colorful produce of fruits and vegetables. Now, no, they're probably not eating filet mignon every night, but neither am I. And that's not good. That's a better thing. But as you point out exactly, the Israelis, the Israeli IDF, Israeli Defense Forces, and international donors have brought into Gaza many times more tonnage of food than the people could even eat in an entire year. And the problem is not the supply and even this floating pier off of Gaza that's, I guess, broken up and drifted away, and maybe it's going to be put back up again, I don't know, by the United States. All of those supplies coming in, enough for the Gazan people. But the problem, just as you say, is that the Hamas gunmen confiscate whatever comes in immediately upon crossing into Gaza, and they take it for themselves, and then anything that they don't use themselves, they put back out on the markets in Gaza at drastically inflated prices and extort, just as you say, their own people, the Gazan people, to pay for food that was already donated, should have been for free to them by the Israelis, Americans, and international community.
That's a very good point. In fact, the latest assessment is available food is between 109 and 153% of the daily caloric needs of Gazan citizens, meaning they've got 1.5 times the amount of food they need, but they're not getting it in many cases because Hamas is taking the food and making a business out of it.
It's not the provision, not the donation of the food, but the distribution.